My story starts a very long time ago in Ankara. One cold January weekend, my parents were having a dinner party. And as the guest left, the last guest left, my mother turned to my father and said, "There's no time to waste. We can't get to the hospital. I'm about to have this baby now." And I was born in the dining room. So I think that was, it was a sign of what was to come in the future. My very first toy was the Easy Bake Oven, and then I moved on to the real oven. By the time I was 12, in middle school, I was taking a baking class and decorating cakes for every event. I would finish school and finish my homework, and in the evenings, take a class on cake decorating. So every person who knew us for any occasion, whether they got a new job or lost a job or had a birthday, received a cake from me. But I come from a family of engineers, and this is pre-Food Network and pre-celebrity chefs, so cooking was not really an option for a career. And I followed in the footsteps of everybody in the family and went to engineering school. But before I left, of course, my parents' friends were all worried, what will we have for dessert when Nur leaves? But Mom took over and survived. Right after school, after getting my mechanical engineering degree, I got a fabulous job with General Electric and got sent to Japan. And I was working on the state-of-the-art combined cycle power plant, but I was much more interested in the cuisine in Japan. And being in Japan had a lot of challenges. I was the only woman on this very large site with thousands of men. I was a racial minority, not always welcome everywhere, but there was always baking therapy for me. I taught my Japanese neighbors how to make brownies and always made friends through baking. It was my passion. I returned to the States after a few years in the Far East and met my husband. We were both working at GE, and at that time I was becoming very unhappy with my job. I found it very boring, not satisfying, and he was the person who encouraged me to make a change. But making a change at this point involved a lot of risk and sacrifices. We would have to cut our income in half. But I made the plunge. I quit my job and I went to culinary school. At this point, I had decided that chocolate was the way I wanted to go. It was something that I had not mastered. It was something I absolutely loved and a very interesting medium for me. So I went off to culinary school and learned about chocolate. And at that point, I was also doing a demographic study to see where I wanted to open up a business. I was looking at a densely populated area and people who would appreciate fine chocolates, and in the end, I chose Brookline, because Brookline had the right income brackets, and also an international community, and people who would appreciate what I was going to make. So I built a commercial kitchen and jumped into making chocolates, but lo and behold, my recipes were not working. And there was a legendary candy maker in Brookline. His name was William Federer, that everybody talked to me about, but I had never met him. And he had closed his business previously, 2 years previous to when I started. I sought him out, found him, and called him to see if he would do some consulting for me with my recipes. And he said, "No, I'm sorry, I can't help you. My wife has Alzheimer's, and I'm retired." So I went back and fiddled with my recipes. It was much more challenging than I ever anticipated. They were prone to changing with the environment and humidity, but still managed to make about 12 different types of chocolate. Then a few weeks later, this very short, stout man with rosy cheeks and blue eyes ran into my store and, rolling his sleeves up, said, "Okay, I'm here. I have 2 hours. What do you want to make?" So from there on, this was my Uncle Bill. He became my mentor. I learned from him much more than about chocolates. I learned from him about just love and life. He was a member of the Vienna Boys Choir as a child, so he always sang and worked. So for 15 years, we would work side by side. He would sing, he would tell me stories, and he was a little angel. So that brings us closer to the current day, where we make 60 different types of chocolates, and I have employees from all around the world, and I enjoy learning from my employees too. I've learned about ingredients from someone from Hawaii who taught me about passion fruit. I have employees from Thailand that have taught me about exotic fruits from there that we incorporate into our chocolates. But of course, I've taught everybody that the best pistachios and hazelnuts are from Turkey. Over the years, chocolate has become almost a health food. The doctors recommend that you eat 2 ounces of chocolate, dark chocolate every day, and it's good for your health. And my customers have become more curious about chocolate. Now they ask me about the origins of the beans and what percentage of cocoa there is in it. So it has remained a very interesting medium for me to continue working with. I also am still a hands-on candy maker, which I love doing every day. I'm also the resident mechanic. I fix my machines. I'm able to do that. And every day I wake up very excited about going to work because every day I can create something new. So I leave you with follow your heart, follow your passion, and eat chocolate every day. Thank you.